The weekly NASCAR penalty report has been released, and the big one that everyone was anticipating, or not anticipating, that sounds bad, that everyone was looking to see if it would actually happen, has happened. Bubba Wallace has been suspended one race for his actions on Sunday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the crash with Kyle Larson. We are going to read the penalty report. We're going to read what NASCAR said, the rule that was violated. It's pretty obvious, but we're still going to read it. Bubba Wallace's statement from yesterday, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts because that's what I do. I give you my opinion on this stuff. And then we're going to talk about some other news that came up today, like Spire Motorsports. Anyways, of course, Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson on Sunday got into an incident, I guess we can call it, where Larson, coming into turns 3 and 4, they were racing hard off of 4. Larson washed up the track a little bit, did not make contact. I said that in my first video. A lot of people got really mad that I said they made contact, which, sorry that I was wrong. But Larson washed up the track, and because of it, it forced Bubba Wallace to hit the wall. Wallace was understandably upset, but he overreacted, and he right-hooked Kyle Larson into the wall, going 180 miles an hour at a 1.5 mile track, which was very, very ugly. It also took out Christopher Bell, a playoff contender. Bubba Wallace himself, the guy who wrecked Kyle Larson, was out of the race. He crashed himself too. And he ended up confronting Kyle Larson and shoving Kyle Larson a bunch. And Larson was not having it, so he was trying to get out of it. But yeah, and then Wallace also broke a lot of rules in the rule book, like don't leave your car until an official shows up or the medical team, and he walked across the track, an active racetrack, which has been a big no-no ever since the death in the dirt race 8 or 9 years ago that killed a driver because he was on the track, an active racetrack, and NASCAR has changed the rules since then. So yeah, a couple rules were broken, but let's read the penalty report. NASCAR announced Tuesday that it suspended Bubba Wallace after his actions in Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Wallace was suspended for one race after he crashed Kyle Larson at lap 94 of the South Point 400 and proceeded to shove Larson, both violations of Section 4.3A and 4.4C and E of the NASCAR Member Code of Conduct laid out in the NASCAR Rulebook. Rule 4.4C lists intentionally wrecking or spinning another vehicle, whether or not that vehicle is removed from competition as a result, as one of 5 member actions that could result in a penalty. And then the Bubba Wallace statement, he released this one last night. He said, "I want to apologize for my actions on Sunday following the on-track incident with Kyle Larson in the number 5 car. My behavior does not align with the core values that are shared by 2311 Racing and our partners who have played a crucial role in my incredible journey to the top of this great sport. I want to apologize to NASCAR and the fans, along with Christopher Bell, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Toyota for putting them in a situation in the playoffs that they do not deserve. I compete with immense passion, and with passion at times comes frustration. Upon reflecting, I should have represented our partners and core team values better than I did by letting my frustrations follow me outside of the car. You live and learn, and I intend to learn from this." So a pretty, Bubba Wallace apologizing. It's a pretty, just apologize. It's an apology. I don't know how to break it down. But he apologized for his actions. He said he messed up. Apologized to Christopher Bell and the 20 team. Apologized to NASCAR and the fans. Did mention Kyle Larson in the 5 team at the beginning. That was the big one. But yeah, obviously, this hurts a lot of people in this situation. Obviously, it hurts Bubba Wallace's reputation. It hurts his team's reputation. Everything that Bubba Wallace does on and off the track, it's going to reflect his team owners, his sponsors, NASCAR itself, because he is such a big figure in NASCAR. So many people know who Bubba Wallace is. It's going to reflect on NASCAR itself. So unfortunately, Bubba Wallace did something very stupid on track on Sunday, and it reflected poorly on NASCAR, 2311 Racing, Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, McDonald's, all of them. So it's a crap situation, but Bubba Wallace shouldn't have done it. It's pretty straightforward. As for the penalty, I think it's a deserved penalty. I said it on Sunday. I'll say it again today. He deserved to be suspended for that. We've seen instances in the past where people have gotten suspended and not been suspended. NASCAR, that is one criticism I have, is that they have been very inconsistent at penalizing people who intentionally wreck or spin. Heck, we saw William Byron intentionally spin Denny Hamlin under caution, and he originally got a 25-point penalty, which I thought was deserved, but then they rescinded it, or the appeals panel rescinded it, and I thought that was kind of dumb. I thought Byron should have got a points penalty out of that and not just a fine. Another example, Noah Gragson at Road America intentionally wrecked someone. It caused a big pileup. Gragson was docked 30 points. I think he was fined $35,000, so that's a pretty severe penalty, but no suspension there. Carson Hocevar intentionally dumped someone this year. No penalty at all. Then if we want to get to the really big ones, Matt Kenseth intentionally wrecking Joey Logano. Kenseth got suspended 2 races for that one, but then Jeff Gordon intentionally wrecked Clint Boyer at Phoenix and only got probation, a fine, and a points penalty when it was basically the same thing. Kyle Busch intentionally wrecked, who was that? Ron Hornaday back in 2011 in the Truck Series. He got suspended a couple of races in the Cup Series. So NASCAR has been inconsistent with their penalties when it comes to intentionally wrecking. Some instances, they get suspended immediately. But then some instances, when it's almost the same situation, it's a fine, probation, whatever. There's no time served, I guess you could say. So NASCAR has been inconsistent with that kind of thing. So I wish they'd be more consistent. But I will say this is the appropriate penalty. Bubba Wallace, that's what he did was very bad. He deserves to be suspended for what he did on track. You cannot... absolutely cannot right hook someone at 1.5 miles on the straightaway or really anywhere. It's just bad. And especially with the question of the next gen car, the safety of it. We talked about this on Sunday. If you want to go back and watch that, go back and watch that. But when your teammate has been almost forced into retirement because of the safety issues with the car, when your team owner is the most vocal person about it in the garage, and the guy you just wrecked's teammate is out with a concussion, no. You deserve to be suspended for that. So, deserves suspension. Bubba Wallace, I think he will learn from this. I think this is a big learning moment for him. He'll come back a better driver, better person, that kind of thing after this. So, yeah, it's just a tough situation all around. But, man, Joey Logano had some strong comments about the incident. He wasn't, saying, oh, Bubba Wallace is terrible. He's a terrible driver. He's a terrible person. He wasn't saying that, but he was saying, this is very severe and should be punished severely. Logano said, Logano said no exaggeration, but that could have ended Kyle Larson's career, going 180 miles an hour into the wall, and if the 20 wasn't there, back end into the wall, and we have seen what backing into the wall does in this car, that could have been much, much worse, and the fact that we even had to think about that is terrible, and he should be punished. So when you have other drivers, the winner of the race, coming out and saying that it was horrific and that, this should have a severe penalty, then you know that it is very, very, very wrong. And, of course, Joey Logano has been on the receiving end of a intentional crash before. So, but no excuse for it. Bubba Wallace rightfully suspended, in my opinion, but he will come back at Martinsville. I think 1 race is the right amount of time. I saw a lot of people, I think there were some over-exaggerations, in the comments on Sunday. I didn't read them all, but I did see some. Some people were saying he should be suspended the rest of the season, so 3 races. I think that's a little extreme. I thought 2 max, definitely 1, but 2 max. I saw some people saying he should be fired, some people saying that the sponsors should drop him. I don't think it's that extreme. It was bad, don't get me wrong. He definitely deserves a suspension. Heck, I think even a fine could have been deserved on top of the suspension, but, man, you guys in the comments, you guys got a little extreme there on Sunday. So I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but please be nice in the comments. Thank you. Anyways, hopefully that's the end of this saga between Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson and that whole thing. Other things in the penalty report, we knew this was coming on Sunday, but the 18, he had a wheel fall off and it went off, and there's a suspension for that for the crew chief, the tire changer, and the jackman, I think. They all got suspended for 4 races, so they will be out through the Clash next year. But that means Kyle Busch will not have his normal crew chief for his last 3 races at JGR or his pit crew members. So that's interesting, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's the standard suspension. I think I heard a crew chief, maybe it was the spotter, say something about like it's a little bit, not hypocritical, but it's a little weird that a crew chief gets suspended 4 races for the wheel coming off. And yes, it is a danger. You know, if there's safety crew members on the track, that's a big tire. That can hurt someone severely. But when that comes off, it's a 4-race suspension. But when a driver intentionally crashes someone, there's questionable if they even are suspended. Or if someone spins someone under caution, it's not even a suspension. So I thought that was a very good point. That would be probably the only argument I listened to in terms of should Bubba Wallace be suspended 3 or more races, or, you know, should William Byron have been suspended for spinning Hamlin under caution. But anyways, now that we're done with that whole saga, let's talk about some positive news, some good news in the NASCAR world, or some news. Spire Motorsports announced their driver lineup today. Their driver lineup will be Corey LaJoie in the 7, which he has been the past couple of years, and Ty Dillon in the 77. Yeah, LaJoie in the 7, he didn't really have any other options. I think he should get a shot at a really, not like a Hendrick Motorsports, but, you know, a mid-pack car, see what he can do. Whether it be a Petty GMS, whether it be a Wood Brothers, whether it be something else like that. I'd like to see LaJoie in one of those cars. But as for now, him with Spire, they've shown speed on super speedways before, so curious to see how he'll do. But Ty Dillon in the 77, that's an interesting combination. Ty Dillon has not had the most successful career. He's not been in the best Cup Series equipment. Petty GMS, Gaunt Brothers, I can't think of anyone else. But Ty Dillon has not had the most successful Cup career. He has not produced the best results. But he's getting another opportunity, and it's with Spire. Good for him. I'm happy he was able to find a good or another ride in the Cup Series. Good for him. But other penalty stuff was like loose lug nuts in the Xfinity and Truck Series, the suspension for Ben Bayshore, Bubba Wallace. That was it. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully Miami is a little bit more calm instead of in terms of the controversy. If there is controversy, hopefully it's like someone making a race-winning move gone wrong. I don't want to talk about intentional wrecks anymore. Don't get me wrong. I love a good fight. But that's not like how I want to see a fight. I don't want to see someone intentionally wreck someone and then go fight them. Like, I want like a good old fight like Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, something like that, you know. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, share. You guys have been killing it with the support the last few months. So I'm very thankful for that. I mean, you've always been supportive of the channel, which means a lot. But, you know, the last few months have been some of my most successful. So I'm very thankful for that. So thanks for watching again. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And be nice in the comments, would you?